Welcome to HEXCOM. If you're new here, which is possible because I've gotten quite a few new subscribers and comments over the last week or so. So I want to make another video just to orient you, if you're new here, to what this project is, what I'm trying to do, and the genesis of it. So HEXCOM is a experimental D&D 4th edition campaign, but it's also a game mode and kind of a tech stack and just a general ethos. Made other videos on this, and you can go check those out if you want. But this started out as a solitaire experiment, solo play, just trying new things with D&D just to see what works, what doesn't. And I think I've gotten far enough where I've proven that the concept does work, and there have been enough questions and comments asking, how do I play? How do I get in on this? So this is the official HEXCOM recruitment video. I'm inviting you to the Discord here officially. It's very early days. We don't know exactly what we're doing all the time. In fact, it's just starting, so it's only been solo plays. But we're going to try and get a game going, I think. But let's just go through what it is I'm trying to do here, what we're trying to do, and you can decide for yourself. So the goal was to explore different play styles specific to 4E, distinct from traditional campaigns, traditional games, you know, in the OSR and more modern D&D as well. So the origins here were, I was a bit frustrated with where 5th edition was going, both with the monetization strategies and just the overall tone of the game just didn't feel like D&D anymore. So I went back and I started playing AD&D again. And AD&D is brilliant. Love OSR games. Just that old school feel is so fun. But it's not the perfect solution either for what I'm trying to do. I think AD&D exists best when you've got a group of trusted friends. Now, I know you might be hearing this and thinking like, oh, no, I played with strangers. I believe you. I just think it works best when you have trusted players, trusted friends that you can kind of riff with. And I'm looking for something different. I want to try and play it a little bit more with a war game without a DM. And so the OSR and, I mean, D&D in general just assumes you have a DM. So there's lots of strategies for playing without one, and that's kind of what we're getting to here. But also looking to play D&D in a new way, in a war gaming way, skirmish level. So the motivation was, again, to create these new forms of play outside the OSR modern dichotomy. And HEXCOM is the result. I think what we're trying to go for here is a secret third thing that is perfect for 4E and its tactical gameplay. But you might be asking, why 4th edition? I thought that edition was horrible. Nobody likes it. Nobody plays it. Well, I think we've all slept on 4th edition, to be honest. It has its problems just like every other edition, but it also has its like advantages just like every other edition. Every edition is optimized for a different mode of play. 4E excels at grid-based tactical combat, like a board game or a video game, and this was the primary criticism when it came out in 2008. This is too much like a video game. It's a reaction to WoW. It's like a board game. Well, maybe that didn't fly so well in 2008, but I think in 2024, especially playing online with a virtual tabletop, it really slots itself in to be the best edition for this. Now, you can play online with any edition, don't get me wrong. But what we're talking about here is trying to get a more, formalized, rigorous online style campaign going. And when I say campaign, I'm using that term unlike probably you've used it in the past. It's really just a different game mode. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons a little bit differently. But when I say we, I just mean we. I mean I. It's been solo play up until this point. We've had a bunch of people join the Discord, a bunch of people comment on these videos, like I said. So This video is your invitation into the HEXCOM universe and help play, but also figure out how to play. So yeah, in 2008, 4E was not widely embraced. It had a very short-lived run. I made a whole video about why I switching to 4E. I think it makes sense. In short, it's a very whole, complete, cohesive rule system that isn't too sprawling. It's knowable. You can learn it. And the rules are fixed. They're not making new rules for it. Also, there's just not a ton of third-party content. So it's just its own self-contained little universe, which I like. It also is kind of a rejection of the subscription model. I mean, everything's already published. It's not going anywhere. You can switch back to any edition you want. So we're picking 4E. So what is HEXCOM? How does it work? The idea here is players join as elite HEXCOM team members deployed on missions to vanquish enemy units, monsters. We're calling it HEXCOM because it's named lovingly after the XCOM video games, where you go on these tactical missions, you bring back your loot, try and build your base. We haven't really gotten base building integrated yet because there's not really many rules in 4th edition for that, but join the Discord, let me know. You can steer the course of base building. But we're not playing published adventures, and we're not playing anything that I've written. I'm not the DM running a campaign here. That's the whole point. We're playing exclusively generated random encounters straight out of the DMG. I think it's page like 176, something like that. There is rules for random encounters. So we're doing everything exactly out of those DMG rules. I've written a Discord bot that I am calling Appendix X. This is just kind of a name based on the old AD&D appendices Appendix B, where you could generate dungeons and adventures, and it was really fun. And I kind of wanted something like that for 4th edition for this. So that's what this is. The bot rolls up encounters. It assigns treasure parcels, again, right out of the DMG, all perfectly valid and accurate. It adds some flavor text, and it certifies the results. Now, somebody has to make a map based on this, so the workflow I've been using is Dungeon Alchemist, export to Foundry, but you can really do anything. As long as it's on Foundry. Foundry has the best support for 4E. We can import character builder characters, import maps, works really well. Import all the compendium, all that. Now, the idea is we're keeping really strict results logged. I don't know. That's been fun for me. I don't know how fun it is for anyone else. So we'll chat about it. But the idea is we're sharing resources, and we can play these missions independently. So we're going to share maps and other strategies, perhaps. Now, one side effect of being able to generate your missions is you can actually generate the final mission quite easily. So that's what we've done. We've generated the final boss, and the missions will feed into determining the ultimate adversary, which is Cryonax. So we rolled up a random mission, level 30, and it randomly pulled Cryonax, a level 34 solo brute, the elemental plane of ice. I believe he might be a prince. So our recruitment goal here is we're looking for players who can commit to trying this out and perhaps leveling all the way up. I don't know. It's very daunting, but we'll see what we can do. So again, open recruitment, looking for players. Again, I just really want to emphasize this is not a DM-led campaign in any traditional sense. While I might host some games to get it started to, just kick things off, this isn't like I'm not the DM writing a story and you all have to wait on me and my schedule. That was part of the whole impetus for this, is like trying to get away from this, or at least experiment with different ways of playing and different different campaign styles. You know, you've got like West Marches, and you've got Braunsteins, and you've got other ways of playing D&D. And I would posit that HEXCOM, or whatever you want to call this, we're calling it HEXCOM, is a style of play in that same vein of experimentation. In our case, we're generating missions using the DMG, and players play one-off missions. So it's open to everyone, solo players. The great thing about these missions is, I mean, I've played them solitaire already. You can play one player, you can play heads up, one side HEXCOM team members, one side monsters. You can have a more traditional party where everybody, 5 players play the HEXCOM, 1 DM or referee plays the monsters. You can even add in new players for the monsters and play like 10 people, 5-on-5 or whatever. So you can do the traditional parties, and that would be more of a lair assault style. If you remember in 4E, they had the line called lair assault, where it's just kind of these one-off base smashing missions. It's kind of the style of what we're going for here. So the focus is really on tactical, immediate action. We're not doing like mythic overland travel, or we're not doing any kind of downtime simulation where you go carouse in a village and you issue orders and there's no faction play. I mean, we can, if that comes up, great. That's for the Discord to decide. But really, this is tactical, mission focused, kick in the door, fantasy SWAT team, etc. This is a swords and sorcery fire team fighting against monstrous threats. So if that sounds fun, we are seeking players who are looking for a somewhat of a departure from the traditional campaign. Again, this is not any kind of like mudcore. You're not a nobody who starts in a tavern and you head off into the wilderness for a pre-written story. There's no reliance on Appendix N literary influences here. Now this all might seem like a bad idea to you, in which case, yeah, this probably isn't for you. We're not trying to replicate the fantasy stories of the 40s and 50s and 60s. This is much more, I would say, a tactical war game vibe inspired by comic books, video games, more modern approach. We're just trying to get a 4E game going, have fun. You can play a mission. If it's not for you, you've lost nothing. You don't have to commit to this giant campaign. We're looking to run missions. So the role of the players are, not so much, as I said, villagers working their way up to heroes. You start as a hero in 4th edition. You will start as a super soldier fighting bizarre and evil forces on HEXCOM team. So if any of that sounds fun, you can look at some of the older videos if you want. It's absolutely not required, but join the Discord. We'll try and get a conversation going there. Again, I want to set up realistic expectations and just say that I hope this kind of runs itself a little bit. I'm going to try and kick off a hosted session for a few players just to get, some of the kinks worked out of like how this all works with real people. If that sounds fun, join the Discord. Let me know. Thanks.